it's way more interactive. It's way more interactive. I kept saying that. 69 million damage. What the heck? With Tenokon and the heirloom of VALKYR being very close to release, I think it's finally time that we cover VALKYR on the channel. Ever since her rework released in Weaver, I've been testing her and trying to find the best build for my playstyle. And I think I'm finally ready to show you guys what I've been cooking up in the lab. And before we start, I just want to get over this. This is what I think is good. I'm not saying it's 100% good. I'm not saying it's the best build. I'm just saying this is what I'm most comfortable with running on VALKYR. So if you have a problem with that, that's fine. I'm not gonna go over every change that happened to VALKYR. I'm gonna assume you're smart enough to know what happened already, and if not, you've probably already researched about stuff that changed there. So I'm just gonna go right into the builds that we have. And yes, I said builds because we're gonna be covering 3 aspects of this build that's gonna be important for this setup. The first one we're gonna be covering is the talons. I know it's kind of weird, but you'll understand. I built the talons in a very specific way for this specific build. I'm building a viral and magnetic, and I'm using melee exposure as its arcane. Now, oh no, why influence? I thought you were the influence, Andy. Look, this weapon is more of a crit based weapon than anything else. Using influence really feels like I'm wasting away this weapon's potential if I do that. I opted for a crit damage, crit chance type of build right here. Discipline's Merit, mostly because it's my favorite Tenokay mod. Prime Fever Strike for the toxin, Galvanized Steel for the crit chance and more crit damage stacking. Blood Rush, and because we have Blood Rush, his partner Weeping Wounds is also there as well, always. Primed Reach for more range. VALKYR needs a range, guys. If you're gonna run VALKYR, I feel like this mod right here is the only mod that's 100% mandatory on the talons, because without this, you're gonna need to be one-on-one, face-on-face, lips-on-lips with the Grineer for your scratches to hit the enemy. Northwind for some cold, so that's gonna be the viral aspect of this build right here, and Magnetic Rush for more magnetic and attack speed. Now, I want you guys to put your attention on the statuses. We have viral, magnetic, and some corrosive damage. This is gonna be very important. For the other important part of the setup, the companion. This is your basic Nautilus Prime build. You've already seen this, right? It's a dime a dozen. This is your standard grouping Nautilus build, but I want you guys to keep in mind Manifold Bond. Killing enemies with 3 or more unique status effects reduces companions' ability cooldowns by 3 seconds. With us killing enemies a lot of times with our claws having 3 statuses, you're gonna be grouping every time. Because of that, our VALKYR doesn't have prolonged paralysis. What? A VALKYR rework build without prolonged paralysis augment mod? Crazy. But before we talk about that, let's talk about the arcanes first. Arcane Battery is gonna be very useful with VALKYR because you're gonna get 1000 energy. Look at this. Our starting energy is 1000, and that's because of all the armor that we're gonna be getting from the 3 Umbral mods and from Warcry itself. The other arcane, Arcane Fury, you could probably change this into a mold augmented, but I needed more melee damage because we don't have prime pressure point on our claws, and we need just base melee damage percentage so that the base damage isn't really that ass, you understand? Now let's talk about helmets. I helmeted one off for Wrathful Advance, Kullervo's helmet ability. This is gonna be very crucial because with the build we have right now, we're gonna have 276% crit chance for 15 seconds, and you're gonna see, oh no, the drain is 40 energy per cast. We have 1000 energy. It's gonna be fine. But if you're really paranoid, that's why preparation is there. You're gonna get 1000 maximum energy at the start of the mission. For the aura mod, I picked Growing Power. Now, I was debating whether or not I should just put Steel Charge here, but with Arcane Fury being here already, I think diminishing returns would just be a bitch to us here. It's gonna be fine because the extra strength will still have a use for it for Wrathful Advance. Now let's talk about the core mods of this build, the 3 Umbral mods. Oh no, yes, it's a very expensive build. I'm sorry, I put 3 Umbral forma mods on my Valkyr just for the heirloom skin. It's so cooked. What am I doing with my life? I'm recording this, by the way, before the Tenocon dev stream, so hopefully I'm not kicking myself in the foot here. But the extra Tau resistance would be good if we fight more sentient enemies. And the last of our core mods, what I call the core mods, is the equilibrium mod. Now you'd say, why is that a core mod? You don't even have synth deconstruct in this build. It doesn't really matter. Well, dear viewer, there are two reasons. Number one, you don't have much efficiency in this build, so the amount of energy you're gonna be using just from using your skills is gonna be massive, and you're gonna find yourself running out of energy. Even though that's 1000, that doesn't last long with the amount of energy Hysteria consumes. And you're gonna have to cast a lot of skills, because remember, we have melee exposure here, which works every time you cast your ability. You gain 60% corrosive damage for your melee strikes for 25 seconds. That stacks up to 240%. That means 6, 12, 18, 24. That's 4 ability cast before you get to max stacks. That alone is more than enough reason for equilibrium to be in this slot. The 4 other mods here is interchangeable, but these are the ones I picked for the comfiest gameplay. Keep in mind, I'm not really much of a level cap gamer. I usually do 30-minute survivals, then after that I don't really go that far. Maybe I do 1 hour void cascade. I don't usually go level cap all the time. So this is more than enough for survivability for me. Adaptation gives us a lot of damage resistance. Combine that with the amount of armor we're gonna get from Warcry's Eternal War, almost 99.9% or something along those lines of damage mitigation, which is more than enough if you're doing less than level 1000 content. You're not gonna die other than maybe a special Eximus or something. Eternal War, one of Valkyr's best augments, man. It makes it so that you don't need to cast Warcry a lot. Now you'll say, but you need to cast so much skills for the exposure. Just don't put it, and put a efficiency mod so you could cast your skills a lot more. Now that might also be a good idea, but I really like how brain dead Eternal War is. You just cast it once and you get up to 60 seconds of duration. It's insane. And you don't really need to cast Eternal War to keep up melee exposure. That's what Wrathful Advance is for, because Wrathful Advance duration for the buff only lasts 15 seconds. If you just keep up that duration, you're gonna hit the max stats of exposure in less than a minute. I put primed continuity here so that we could get more duration on a Wrathful Advance, and blind rage for more strength. I could probably put transient fortitude here, but the amount of ability strength that transient fortitude gives isn't really comparable to blind rage, and I'd take the ability efficiency hit, especially since we have so much energy already. For Archon shards, I just stayed simple. I put 4 violet Archon shards for melee critical damage when max energy is over 500, and we're way above that. And I put this one. You might ask, why did you put that one? That's kind of weird, Sidrouf. And look, I also think it's weird, but I'm trying something here. I'm trying to see if it's worth it for that one slot for melee exposure. With just that one slot, we get almost 80% armor strip from corrosive special effect. When will I ever see that effect ever at all? Probably like in 0.1% case when I do go to level cap, because right now I don't think the corrosive stacks even understand before they die that their armor is stripped away. It's that fast. And that's gonna be it for the important parts of the build. Now you could probably put a weapon with primary dexterity if you want, something like this, where you get 60% damage every time you melee kill, but that's if you want to interchange and get in and out of your claws to use your primary weapon. I don't really see the point to this, because whenever I do use Valkyr, I just use her exclusively for the claws. Valkyr wasn't really that interactive of a character. You press 4, you kill stuff. Sometimes it takes way too long, sometimes it takes 1 second. It didn't really need as much active gameplay as you think, but in the new update, it really changed my perspective on VALKYR as a whole. I mean, look at it, all gone in a single stroke. And you might be saying, oh, of course, and they're so easy. They're just bombards. Let's make them Eximi then. Corrupted Bombard Eximi, 20 of them, boom. If you don't have as much armor as you usually have in VALKYR, you die in 1 second. But look, you're back to full HP. Oh, we need higher level enemies. Fine, let's go to my other simulacrum, because I think that one has up to level 235. Oh, it's only 230. I mean, I'll take it. Basically the same thing. Boom. Look at that. We weren't even in any danger at all. It's way more interactive. I kept saying that. 69 million damage. What the heck? That's enough craziness. I can't wait for the heirloom to release so that I could slay while doing millions of damage. I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Peace out.